Welcome. We're back. Them brothers from Inglewood podcast with Charley Mack and Hoopie. So excited to share content once again. Thanks to the Coalesce Group for your support and being our sponsor and all that you're doing in the educational community. We want to say to each and every one that's viewing and following along that if you're interested in sponsorship, you can look at the bottom of the link and subscribe and share with us so that we can also be considerate in allowing you to do that. Another episode again with my co-host Charley Mack, and we're going to talk about an exciting subject that I believe a lot of us can relate to because we see it every day.
Yep.
And we're going to jump right in after he greets you guys.
Hey, how you guys doing out there? We back once again. We just talking about life stuff, things that we all go through. We two down-to-earth dudes talking about down-to-earth things. We're not professionals. We're not doctors and lawyers or therapists. We just speaking from our own point of view, and we giving up our opinions on these things. And a lot of these things, we've lived them, and we're just sharing them with you guys. So put your seatbelts on, and don't take them off.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Once again, we were talking earlier about the differences in societal situations, but also as human beings, we're all different. We're all cut a little bit different, even though we're in this humanity aspect. The subject that we want to talk about today is very interesting because it's to each its own.
Right.
Whoever decides to make decisions, those decisions are sometimes influenced, whereas other times it's just choice.
Right.
And so today we're going to talk about older men dating younger women and older women dating younger men.
Okay.
And society has already put a stamp and title on that. They call the older women who date younger men cougars.
Oh yeah, that's what they call them, cougars.
Yeah, and then they call the older men who date younger women
tricks. What they call it, sugar daddies or tricks? One of them, the same thing.
Sugar daddies.
Tricks.
But it's interesting because we can speak to that from a different view, and we see it out of a different window. However, we both have experienced it,
right,
to a large degree.
Right.
So if you don't mind, I'm gonna throw the first question out to you. What do you think about older men dating younger women?
For me personally, I wouldn't do it, and I'm gonna tell you why. That younger woman, and then what are we talking age? Are we talking about? Okay,
I would say 20-year gap.
There you go. Because I was gonna say, once you pass a person by 1 decade, you got them by a long, 10 years. They can probably still relate a little bit in 10 years, but when you start talking about 15, 20, 30 years older than somebody, I mean, you grandpa. Are you older to be their, really, you older to be their dad. So my thing personally is, it's not that you don't see, we see younger women, attractive younger women. We see them every day. You've had younger women hit on you. I've had younger women hit on me. But for me personally, they're not going to get it up here with me. Not mentally. They're not going to be able to have that conversation with me.
They're not mature.
They're just not. So when I see older men with these younger chicks, I question who these guys are. And I know some pretty professional, solid dudes that they date and they like younger women.
Wow.
That's their choice. I take my hat off to them. I can't do it. I can't do it. They're gonna run into so many problems in terms of the maturity level, and this woman is 30. You're 58, 60 years old. Come on. You really kidding yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you really give this woman in terms of longevity, in terms of I mean, in terms of a lot? I just think a lot of the guys are fooling themselves. I think they may love these young women, and these young women, the men may think they love them, but I think at the end of the day, and this is only my opinion, I just think they're kidding themselves.
So if there's a 20-year window, let's just say he's 50 and she's 30. We understand that the experience level is totally different.
Right.
Or should be, anyway. What he's come into and experienced is far different than what she has experienced at 30, at the age of 30. Not necessarily in detail as to, she could have been on her own since she was 17.
Right.
Which forced her to mature much faster than normal.
Right.
However, if that was the case, she could have been missing a vital part of her life that had to be sacrificed because of her situation. And now that she's 30, she may revert and want that 20 years back.
Yeah.
Or 15 years back.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So that becomes a problem when because what you basically said was they're just immature. Yeah. They're not mature enough to really bring the right thing to the table.
Yeah.
But older men seem to find that attractive because they continue to date younger.
Yeah, and I think they find it attractive, but I also think that it's a personal preference. It's a personal preference. I mean, hey, look, I know a guy, and me and this guy grew up together. He like him young. He like him R. Kelly young. He like him young enough to where you might want to check ID young.
Right. Wow.
But
that's pedophilia.
But I'm gonna tell you something. This guy genuinely liked him like that. It wasn't even a thing where I mean, man, listen.
That's not normal.
It may not be normal, but you got some guys out there. Hey, look, man, I seen Jerry Buss coming out of the bridge, and this dude at the time was probably about 80 something, and he had one with him. She looked like she was 15. She probably was 18, 19. But it comes down to, I'm gonna tell you what it comes down to. If that young woman makes that man happy, that's all that matters. It's not for me to judge. It's not for you to judge. It's not for anybody else to judge it. If that young woman makes that man happy, I don't care if she's taking all his money. I don't care if she's giving him sponge baths. I don't care what she's doing. As long as he's happy, that's not for me to judge or for you to judge.
Right.
That's for as long as he's happy.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Right. I'm just, I'm looking at it from the point of view of reasoning. Why do we as older men find it appealing or attractive to get someone 20 years
their senior?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a reason behind it. It's almost like having a classic vehicle versus a 2021.
Oh, yeah.
They're both immaculate. They're both attractive. But why do we get to trade in the old one for the new model? Has it run its course? Does older men see younger women more appealing than the woman their age?
Some men do. I mean, you have to understand that young woman is that old man's Viagra. He may not need Viagra, but all he needs is her. I mean, he may look at that young woman, and that young woman excites him. Hey, look, I've had old men tell me, hey, look, man, only thing I want old is some money. They say, I don't want no old woman. And I've had older women say, hey, look, I don't want no old man. I want a young dude. Because that's the thing that may excite them.
Right.
So like
it's preference.
It's preference. Like this old dude, he may be 65, she may be 30, but in his eyes, that young woman does something for his spirit. And it gets him going. Now, you get a woman his age, I mean, come on, man. He's like, oh, man, this, what can she... Come on, dude. He's looking at it like this old woman can't excite me like this young woman can do. Okay. My thing is,
So you think it's physical?
I think a lot of it's physical.
Okay.
But my thing is, at the end of the day, it's physical. But for me, I'm not going to go that far and marry one and live with one or whatever. I'm just. That's just me though, man.
Right.
I mean, for these older guys that do it, and I got a couple of buddies that's in their 60s and they got young chicks, and I'm like, hey man, more power to you. The guy Jeff, remember Jeff that used to drive Uber, tall Jeff. He drove the white. Remember we gave him money today.
Yeah.
Jeff is 59. His wife is 28. But that's what makes Jeff happy. Would I do it? No. That's me though.
Right.
I'm not gonna go marry some 30-year-old chick or something. I'm not gonna do it. It's so funny, you know. Rest in peace. Larry King just died, and they showed his widow. Did you see her?
No. Is she young?
Come on, dude. She looked like she about 35 years old, and Larry King was probably like 90.
Right.
Oh, and Tony Bennett.
And the other guy, the Playboy Mansion guy. Yeah, younger.
So listen, at the end of the day, if that's the thing that excites them, more power to them.
I got you.
My personal preference, I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Right. Okay.
I ain't gonna be able to do it.
So I'll give you the flip side. How do you feel about older women dating younger men?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. And I've been this way since I was like a teenager. Like all my friends growing up, and moms hated it, man. Like you remember Suki?
Yeah.
She hated Suki.
Yeah, she didn't like it.
Because I was like 12 and Suki was like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And all my friends growing up was always older.
Craig Collins too.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
My mom's hated it. But anyway, it was always something in me. I've always had an old soul.
Yeah.
And for some reason, man, I'm attracted to older women. I always have been.
Okay.
And I dated an older woman when Beverly was 40, and I was, at the time, maybe 22, 23, and Mom, she hated it again. Mom, I'm a grown man, I do. But for me, personally, if that's what you're attracted to, I think sometimes the older women, they look at it like, you know, what does this young boy want from me? You know, I mean, I'm 30 years older than him or 20 years older than him. What does he really want? Hey, man, I've always really been attracted to older, and I'll tell you why. I think the reason why is because I'm not going to bring any, like, drama to some chick's life. And I think a lot of the older women who, they've already lived that life, they've ran the street in the clubs and the bars, and they probably a little bit more settled.
So it goes into maturity.
It goes into the maturity level for me.
See, because I think even with the males, they understand that there is a maturity factor there. However, men are created to lead.
Right.
So men look at, and I can't speak for every man. I would look at it like this because I've never dated young women.
Right.
So I'm not even interested in dating young women.
Me either.
So when in my eyes view, I'm looking at it as, okay, new model, younger version, strong, vibrant, durable, but also teachable.
Yeah.
I can actually help this individual develop, and I can actually teach them how to care for me, how to be a good girl to me. So I think older men sort of look at it in a roundabout way. I think women that are older who date younger men are also looking at this first and foremost. First of all, I don't need anything from him.
Right.
I'm established.
Right.
I have grown children.
Right.
I have my own. I'm a professional.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But he's attractive. He brings a youthful element to me.
It's the same thing.
I have fun with him. I laugh and I do this and that. You know. So I think women who choose to date younger men is more looking at I'm having fun. This is a good time for me in my life. Even if they commit and say, "Hey, I'm your woman. You're my man." But I don't see a lot of 20-year removed marriages. I don't see 60-year-old women marrying 30-year-old.
Right.
I don't. So the marriage part, I don't really see that.
Yeah.
I do see the dating process,
but not the marriage.
Not the marriage.
You see more the men that's the married women versus the women. You're right.
Because now I've met over the years, older women that did not even believe I was the age I was.
Oh yeah.
And they would say things like, "Well, you should have a younger woman.
Right.
I'm too old for you."
Yeah.
So really, I think some of the women were intimidated.
Yeah, I've had that.
Because they felt like, no, you can't be manipulated.
Right.
You can't be, you know what I'm saying? So I think you hold them accountable when you're mature at your age. And then you got to understand, man, at a certain point, if you're, in your 50s and, they're in their 60s or whatever, it ain't no age.
Hey.
and I, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, and there are situations where I wasn't trying to talk to anybody. I wasn't trying to date this person. I wasn't, I'm being cordial and polite, and it's like, I'm too old for you. You know how old I am? I said, I didn't even ask you your name.
Right.
Like, why are you hitting me with the age?
Right.
Because really what it is they really didn't feel comfortable thinking that a younger guy
is going to come at them like that.
And I'm like, so I think the real issue is that people have to respect that that's their choice.
Okay, from that point, let me ask you this, though. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to ask you the question. Probably another thing for me, I've always had a pretty low libido. People always, oh, Mac, you hot. People think I'm hot, and I might be a little hot.
You older now.
Even when I was younger, man, I've never really had you. And you can ask any of my past relationships or whoever, they'll tell you that I'm not that guy that's trying to sleep with you and have sex every night.
Oh yeah.
Or even 5 days a week. I mean, I've always had a pretty even kill sex. So for me, I can't mess with no young chick. Right. She want to get hit every night or 4 or 5 days a week. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Because that's not who I am. I've never really had
You're
that.
not wired that way.
I'm not wired that way. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you date an older woman?
Yeah.
Okay, so for you, we in our 50s. Would you date a woman 70? I mean, honestly.
Probably not.
Why?
She's probably not that healthy. She's probably on medications.
But guys in their 50s is on medication. I got a couple buddies that's on high blood pressure
medicine. We ain't though. And I'm not. I'm healthy. I ain't on nothing but food. So everything works with me. So therefore, I'm the type of guy, I would respect somebody that's 70 because I don't expect them to be able to do the things that I'm physically able to do.
Hey, look, I know some 70-year-olds that's active.
Yeah.
And
they got to be in shape.
They got a young mind.
Well, yeah.
They're active. They're out there. They take care of themselves.
Right.
And you have to look at it like this, though, Cam. We got a mother that's 70 and 72, and she don't do nothing. She's at home chilling.
Yeah.
So you have to respect when you see older men and older women out there staying active and doing their thing and walking. I mean, you got to respect
that has a lot to do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if someone was 70 years old and I met her and I had a conversation and I said, "Wow, this is a great."
So it just all depends.
It all depends. It has to fall in line.
Yeah, because you just can't look at the number.
No, because at the end of the day, I may not even be interested in dating her.
Right.
I would only, entertain her as a friend.
Right.
Or, as a colleague or something like that. It wouldn't be a physical attraction or a romantic, interest.
You never know.
And I know.
No, you don't.
What I'm saying is, if a situation is not conducive for me, meaning you're non-athletic.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
You're sickly.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
You don't keep yourself up.
Oh, yeah, that's something different.
I'm not interested.
Oh, yeah, but you may not be interested in a woman that's 52 or 55 or 50 or 48
or even 40.
That's not active.
No.
So it's the same thing.
Exactly. So I'm not, what I'm saying is I'm not just looking at the number what availability do you have? Do you laugh?
Right.
Do you exercise? Man, that's important.
Well,
man.
no,
Exercising.
no. You're right, but what you're saying is it's kind of a not hypocritical, but it's kind of like you got some young women out there that's in jacked up shape.
Yeah, but we're talking about older women.
Okay, but even then, so it's the same question.
I wouldn't want a younger one that's not in.
So that's
good
what.
shape.
So at the end of the day, the age thing it plays a little bit of part in it, but not a whole part in it.
It's not the deciding factor.
Right.
For me.
It's not.
No.
It's not the
It's
deal
not
breaker.
the deal breaker.
Okay.
No. You can be 65. Okay. You can be 72.
Because you got some women out there and men
Yeah.
that like we don't look our age.
No,
I mean, people think that we're like. I mean, people used to always think
Especially, if I just shave.
Yeah.
And just go clean.
Oh, you got the booty
corporate.
face. You gonna look
Right.
I mean, look, man. When I drive people, man, in the car, man, especially our white counterparts, they think I'm in my 30s.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
And it's so funny because we'll be in the car, and I'm pretty sure you've had these same conversations. We'll be in the car talking, and I'll be driving, and we're having a conversation, and they'll be listening, and then I'll finally hear them say, "Well, man, how old are you?" Because I'm talking about stuff that they thinking I'm in my 30s, so they're like, "Well, he couldn't know this." So, man, how old are you? And I lay the heavy shit on them and like, look, man, I'm blocked. They like, I'm like, yeah,
I get that.
because we killing them with knowledge, and they're like, how do you know all that?
I get.
I'm sure you've had that.
Yeah, I get that a lot when I was Ubering.
Yeah.
I got that a lot because I think also when you do meet an older woman that looks good, who keeps herself up, bro, she don't want a young dude. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, they don't want a young dude. You know why? They feel like I got them knocking at the door, all the time.
But guess what? But guess what? I'm gonna tell you something, and this is just a fact of life. And me and you may experience it one day in our life. We may not. Mm-hmm. You got some older dudes out there, dude. They jump don't work.
Yeah, that's true. That's why
it ain't working.
No,
and you got some women out there that's in their 70s and their late 60s. They need that.
Yeah.
And they want that.
Yeah.
And you got these older dudes. He's like, okay, honey, let me get the pills, and then all of a sudden the pills stop working, and then, I think that
those are factors.
Yeah, when you got older women and older men that still kind of have their libido is high, and they're still into the whole intimacy thing.
Yeah.
They know that if a woman is 70 or 65, she knows that this 65-year-old dude, his stuff
probably
dude,
I'm
talking to some of my buddies, and I ain't gonna say their name. They like, man, my stuff don't work.
Right.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah. I know some younger dudes that it don't work.
How young you talking about?
32.
Nah, come on, dude.
I'm telling you, man.
No.
32.
You serious?
31.
30s?
Yeah, because of some of it is organic.
Okay.
Meaning it just happens to some men.
Wow.
And then other things brought it on.
Okay.
Poor eating,
30s?
drugs.
Come on, Cam.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They told you this?
I know 2 dudes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So,
less than 35.
Wow. Yeah, because I know.
Both of them.
Yeah, because I know some cats, man, that say they up in their, their 50s or whatever, and they like, I'm like, man, thank God, my stuff's still cool.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line with older men and older women going younger has a lot to do with where we are in our life as well. Some women have been married for multiple years. Their husband is deceased, or they divorced years ago. Kids are grown. Some of them don't even have children.
Yeah.
Some like.
Yeah,
and I heard this a lot, and you probably heard this too while you were Ubering, and especially from the boat.
Okay.
You ask them, well, where's hubby?
Yeah.
Oh, he don't travel.
Yeah.
He don't like to travel.
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
He just kind of...
I've had that a lot.
He's comfortable. He don't bother.
I've had that a lot.
He pays for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
So I think there becomes a void in our lives that we have to find a way to feel, and sometimes it manifests in relationships that seem odd or awkward, but they work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna kid you. I would date someone older because I'm like this. I'm all about being stimulated mentally and emotionally, right?
Yeah.
But also, more importantly, you got to be mature.
Yeah.
If I'm going to date you or if I'm going to be with you, you got to be a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about having things, giving me things. No, you got to know how to treat your counterpart.
And that's the thing that and that's what I'm saying when I talk about these older guys who fall in love with these younger women that's 30 years they're senior, 25 years they're senior. I mean, they can't even after they go out and have dinner and they come home and they make love to each other and they're lying in bed, just talking. He can't even talk about the past. He can't lay in the bed.
She can't relate.
She never experienced that. She gonna be like, what are you talking about?
Well, she might remember what her parents talked about.
But she ain't even gonna remember that. So it's like, at the end of the day, there's more than just
the physical.
Yeah, man. And that's my thing with younger women.
Yeah, when you first...
I like to talk.
Yeah, when you first shared it, I heard maturity. You're talking about being mature and being mature. I mean, same thing, older women or women our age should have a sense of understanding on how to please this guy.
Yeah.
Bro, nobody wants you to be in there and be a maid or be my cook. But can you cook sometime?
Man, come on.
Can you whip up something and say, hey, come on through.
Yeah.
Let's watch a movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make something. I'm making dinner or whatever. Dude, whatever happened to that?
Yeah.
Like they say, is chivalry dead?
It's chivalry dead. And you got some younger chicks out there, they like to cook, they may cook or whatever, but like I said, it goes back to that topic we talked about 4 topics ago when I said, at the end of the day, I would just prefer to be with a black woman because at the end of the day, when we lay down and have, she gonna understand me. It's the same thing. If I'm laid up with a white woman or whoever else, and I can't talk about, oh damn, babe, remember the government cheese? Yeah. Remember we had the government bologna? They like, huh? They ain't gonna relate to nothing. Remember we used to have syrup sandwiches, and when we ran out of milk, we would have to put water and eat cereal. They don't know none of that stuff. And those are the things that you reflect on when you're younger, and it makes you say, man, those are the days.
Or even the music that we dance to.
Yeah. And because of
places we went.
Because of those days and because of those times, I'm the man I am today. They don't know, they can't relate to that. And so that's what I say. For me personally, if it makes those dudes happy, man, that's all that matters. It's just not for me. That's all. I look at it and I just tell myself like, oh well,
I think it's interesting because when you look at a lot of couples, and you learn their plight in life.
Right.
A lot of people have been married once or even
twice. Yeah.
And
kids.
And then they find a situation that's conducive for them.
Yeah.
I got a young lady who I like, I respect. We get along great. There's no major demands.
Right.
And I'm young enough to keep up with her.
Right.
And I'm not too old for her to want to, hang out with me.
Right.
And it works. Even in Ubering, I met a lot of couples, man, they were lopsided.
Yeah.
The guy was like 20 years her senior.
Yeah.
Or the woman was 15 years older than the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
And so you see how these dynamics work in those relationships because sometimes you can see who's the alpha male in the relationship, or you can see who's more passive as it relates to, well, she got the energy, man. I'm 61.
Yeah.
This young lady is 30.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, I can't do it.
You know what I mean? So I think it's a great fit when those couples know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it can't all be physical and intimate. Your intimacy has to come in other important areas like conversation.
Yeah.
It has to come in nurturing.
Yes.
It has to come in camaraderie.
Listen, man.
Friendship.
All that stuff, conversation, friendship, all that's foreplay.
Yeah.
And if you can't have that with this younger counterpart, then at the end of the day, what do you really have?
Right.
what do you really have?
Well, you got to narrow down and say, this is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm with her because, you know, the sex is great. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, what are we gonna talk about? Barney? We're gonna talk about TikTok?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. At the end of the day, I mean, listen. Like I said once again, whoever is dating that younger man or that younger woman, if you happy, that's all that matters.
So my last question before we end this segment.
Okay.
Do you think it works on both spectrums? For the woman and for the man.
I think it can
work. Does it work?
I think it can work. I think if both people have a mutual respect for one another, and I think if the man tells this woman, okay, this is what I need from you, and vice versa, and they have a plan, then if it can work. And that goes with any relationship. I don't care if you're the same man. You gotta have a plan going into it. Yeah. If you guys gotta have a mutual respect for one another, and you guys gotta say, okay, this is what I need from you. And the woman got to say, okay, this is what I need from you. And both of you guys have to meet each other. You got to just do it.
I think, too, and I just want to add this. I think, too, me personally,
okay,
if I had to do this, or if this came about for me to engage in relationship with an older person, my approach to that would simply be this. I expect you to be mature and understand how to treat a man. Now, because this is new, you have to learn how to treat me, but the fundamental premise is that you know how to treat a man.
Yeah.
And so my interest would be simply because I think you're mature enough, right? Now, on the flip side, dating younger, I wouldn't even entertain it because I know that this person has not had the experience that I'm going to need without having to re-establish the ground rules.
You know, this is what we're gonna do.
She hasn't been through nothing.
We're gonna end this segment, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get an older guy in here who's dating a younger woman, and get his perspective. And let's see how that goes.
Okay.
So we'll just stop it from right here.
Okay. Well, thanks again for tuning in to them brothers from Inglewood. It's been a pleasure, like always, that we are able to chop up some subjects and talk transparently about it. And again, thank you to the Coalesce Group, and we're asking or soliciting sponsorship. So if you find this content interesting and you want to attach your name to it, you're more than welcome to follow the link, see us on other social media platforms, and we'll be gracious enough to evaluate it and, you know, see if we can gain a relationship together. So that's it for me. Let my co-host end it, and we'll see you guys soon.
Once again, guys, you know, these are only our opinions that we're talking about and our life experiences. And like my brother was saying, if you guys like this and you guys may think someone else may want to hear it, share it, send it to them, get their perspective. Let's get this thing rolling, guys, and keep on sharing these topics. And that way, me and his guys can continue to stay here. So thank you, guys. Peace and love.
Peace.